begin by thanking the Rotary Club for hosting a speech contest, and I shall begin. When I was about 5 years old, I had a life dream of going to China. And because I did not know very much about geology, and I knew that the Earth was round, and I knew the shortest distance between 2 points was a straight line, I decided I'd try to dig a hole there. So I went out my sandbox. I used a little plastic shovel, and I started digging through the sand, hoping to get to China within a month or so. And I gave up shortly afterwards once I got past the sand and into the dirt and the rocks and the worms and all that good stuff. But I maintained this idealism, this idea that anything was possible. And as I've grown older, I've lost that 5-year-old idealism. And I've seen the same thing happen in many of my other compatriots, many of my other students, everyone around me. They've lost this idea that they can do anything. They've had it beaten out of them by society. I have a friend who's 15 years old. She writes short stories. And she thinks that because she's 15, her writing is inferior to someone who's 18 years old. Because she's 15, she therefore cannot write as well as someone who's had 3 years on them. They're 3 years older. And that's false. Obviously it's false. Because she's 15 doesn't make her writing any worse than someone who is 35. But she believed that society hammered into her that 18 was a magical number. 18 was the number where you can do anything. And that is a preconception that should be smashed by our society today. The truth of it is that we are all human beings. Every one of us has the same arms, the same legs, the same brains. And even if they've been crippled by accident or disease, we are all still human. And we can do whatever we set our minds to. I have a friend who, my freshman year, he was autistic, but he wanted to join a basketball team. And he wanted to join a basketball team so badly, he trained every day. And he tried out, and despite what everyone around him had, well, not directly said, but certainly implied, he still made the team. He became one of their best scorers because he challenged what people have said about him, because he challenged this idea that because he had a disability, he was therefore inferior to people who were not disability, that didn't have a disability, rather. And the second point, is it fair? Well, it is unfair to try to judge someone based on the fact that they have a disability because they are not a certain age, or because they are older than a certain age. My grandmother was born in England in World War II. And my grandfather was in the American Air Force and was always traveling. But because he was always traveling, and when they met in England and they got married, and she had my aunt out of wedlock. And since she immigrated to America with my grandfather, and because she was always traveling, she could never attend school, and she could never go to fulfill her dream of becoming a teacher. It wasn't until the 1980s, when my grandfather retired, that she was finally able to settle down and go to school somewhere. That she was finally able to go to school despite being 20 to 30 years older than most of her classmates. And while society had looked upon her as this 50-year-old woman in a class full of 20-year-olds as something that should not happen, but she challenged it anyway. She challenged it, and she got her bachelor's degree, and currently she teaches at Lancaster High School and is going on to earn her doctorate. The third point is, will it build better friendships? Well, if you know someone who for some reason doubts themselves, for some reason thinks that they are not as good as they could be, you can introduce them to someone you can have faith in them first off, and you can introduce them to someone that can help them obtain their dreams. You can introduce them to someone that can help them become better at whatever they wish to do. For example, I introduced my writing friend, to someone who runs a website, a website that lets anyone write any articles about anything they choose. And she is currently working with the owner of the website to write articles for them. She's being paid for it. And through spreading my goodwill through spreading my goodwill to her, she's able to build a better friendship with someone else. I'm hoping that by speaking to you today, that all of you can help someone that you know build a better friendship with someone nearby, anyone who's doubting themselves. I encourage them, no matter what, encourage them to do whatever it is they wish. Which brings me to the fourth point. Will be beneficial to all concerned. Now, by encouraging someone to follow their dreams, you encourage them to do something that can better society as a whole. Whether that's something to be writing, whether that's something to be teaching, whether that's something to be playing basketball. And by introducing them to people that can help them and creating better friendships, you are doing nothing to detriment society. In fact, you're helping society, and you're benefiting everyone. But the reason why I came to speak for you today is to try to persuade each and every single one of you to try and help anyone you see that doesn't believe in themselves, something that never doubt anyone, despite what they say, despite what society says. For people are the building blocks of society. And the only way to change society's preconceptions is to change individual opinions. And if I have changed at least one opinion here today, I will have done my job. Hopefully, my short story writing friend will become published. In fact, I know she will. Well, she has lots of talent. Hopefully, my autistic friend will go on and join the college basketball team. Hopefully, my grandmother will continue to earn a doctorate and will continue teaching for many generations to come. Thank you.